It's Thursday night in the A. You know what that means. Kelly Price and Tori McElhaney is coming at you on Rise Up Tonight, presented by AT&T.
Kirk O'Chain spit bars in the pre-game tunnel and take over that Tampa trap. Exactly what the Dirty Birds did. And Tori, you know the Tampa Bay Buccaneers hate to see that guy coming.
I mean, one team having to face Kirk in the month of Kirktober is quite the feat.
Kirktober is a real thing. And the Falcons made the Bucs walk that plank for the second time in 4 weeks with Sunday's dub. Let's huddle up about it, y'all.
Let's huddle up with Kelly and Tori on the world of Falcons football.
Raheem Morris's very first message to the team when he met with them this offseason was, let's outrun the South. So far, so good. Atlanta is 4-0 in the division for the first time in a decade, with a big stretch of division games down. In fact, the Falcons have had an undefeated start through the first 4 divisional games just twice since the NFC South was even established in 2002. So with a big stretch of these games in the rearview mirror, Atlanta 3-0 on the road, 4-2 in one-score games. This Sunday at Tampa got close there at the end, but the biggest thing is they won, and that's what good teams do, Tori. And what do you kind of take from that?
Ultimately, that they did what they needed to do to survive. It wasn't a perfect game, nor did the Falcons make it easy on themselves. But as Raheem Morris said in the post-game locker room, nothing in this league is ever perfect, nor would the word easy be used to describe this league either. So if you're the Falcons at this point in time, do what you need to do to get a win in enemy territory, get the heck out of there, and live to fight another day, which is honestly what they did.
Meanwhile, there is a lot to talk about, sweet and spooky, for this defense at this Halloween point in the season. Baker Mayfield threw for 330 yards without his 2 best receivers. He wasn't sacked or even hit once. Key turnovers bailed them out multiple times, but they mostly buckled down after a disappointing showing against Seattle as a defense. And we know the trade deadline is coming up, but this D could seem as mixed bag as, the trick-or-treaters are getting out there tonight.
As Kelly and I talked about last week, it is high time to address the Falcons' pass rush. It's high time to worry about it. It's not good enough, point blank, period. And for what it's worth, Raheem Morris knows that too. I asked him this week, hey, you want to talk about it? And he said, yeah, it's not been near good enough. And he can't be afraid to talk about it when it hasn't been a consistent producer for you. At this point, the Falcons are 5-3 overall and 4-0 in the division without a pass rush. With the way this offense is trending, coupled with the plays in the secondary, what they're doing, this lack of pass rush prowess is what could be holding the Falcons back from being a real postseason contender this year.
Yeah.
It hasn't been a true difference maker in wins and losses so far, but it could be down the road.
Well, let's hear what Raheem Morris said bluntly about this week.
We're not doing a great job of rushing the passer individually, right? We have gotten better with our ability to rush the passer. Last week was kind of an anomaly. We fell off a little bit and didn't get to him as nearly as much as you need to when a guy's able to drop back and pass the ball that way. But we have forced the ball to come out quicker. Some of them have been completions. Most of them have been completions, right? So you want to play a little bit tighter coverage to give them more time to get there. And AJ's been able to make plays, or Jesse's been able to make plays. Nobody's setting excuses for those guys. We have seen, different practice performance than we've seen game performance, and that's the thing you got to change.
Well, we do know one thing that doesn't need to change: the Falcons' efforts in the fashion department. We're walking in, presented by Wells Fargo. Let's start out with the head man himself, because let's give credit where it's due. I'm not sure most people notice this effort week in and week out, but this man rocks a 3-piece suit like on the reg, y'all. Snaps for Raheem, keeping it fresh.
A fire fit, Raw. Welcome to the walking in segment. Kelly and I are happy that you made it here.
Yeah, he's looking great. Meanwhile, AJ Terrell looking right as well before getting his second pick of the season. Y'all know Tori and I cannot resist a matching set.
Kelly, okay, I have to be honest here. I may or may not have thought this was a pajama set, but in a cool way. I promise, in a cool way. I'm not trying to throw shade.
We're here for the comfy vibes, either way. Finally, had to include Matthew Judon because of the originality here. I mean, bottle cap adorned jeans. It reminds me of the Beanie Baby adorned cargos we saw DK Metcalf rock last week. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look that up, because that is also interesting.
So I'm incredibly overstimulated with this fit, but in a good way, I think. I just need to know the backstory behind the design of the bottle cap jeans specifically.
I know, did he do it himself or pay someone to do it?
DIY.
Unfortunately, no walking in Halloween costumes this year, but if you've got a Halloween party and you're not sure what to wear, we got you, fam. The team at Psycho Sisters Boutique in Little 5 Points gives us some styling points later in the show.
Meanwhile, some of the youngest Falcons did don some Halloween costumes this week. We'll explain why next on Rise Up Tonight.
Rise Up Tonight is presented by AT&T and brought to you by Georgia Lottery. Today could be the day. By Mercedes-Benz, the best of nothing. And by Home Depot, how doers get more done. Falcons fans, do you ever wonder what's really on your favorite player's mind? It's time for Question of the Week, brought to you by Zaxby's, Famous Fingers and Sauces.
What is your favorite Halloween costume you had, either growing up or one recently, if you've had one that you've really liked?
You know those blow up costumes that you put your feet into and it looks like you're like you're on top of something or you're holding somebody up or something like that. I had one where it looked like I was riding an ostrich. So I love that one, and I wore it I think like 3 years in a row.
This past year, like I was the Cheeto Man. I think that was super tight. And like we went to the hospital, and I was like just seeing all the kids' face, and they just loved the suit. Like I thought that was my best one I ever rocked.
Growing up, Spider-Man, but now I probably can't fit in a Spider-Man outfit.
Mission failed.
The Grinch.
Probably just growing up, I feel like I always just put camo on, whether it was for military or hunting. That was just always my thing.
I was the Scream growing up, where I had like the little mask, and when I squeezed like a little joint, I guess, it would like drip blood down the front of it.
Wow,
you know? So
that's intense.
Yeah, it was not scary at all though. I was a little 5-year-old, so most people just laughed at me.
The Reaper.
Oh, you were the Reaper.
The Green Reaper, yeah.
Was this like recently or when you were like little?
When I was little, I was like the Green Reaper thing, cause you know, cause my mom used to say like if you keep sinning and everybody got a day, the Green Reaper's gonna come and get you. So I'm still waiting for the Green Reaper to come and get me.
Well, hopefully that doesn't happen.
Hopefully it doesn't happen.
We're not gonna like manifest that.
Probably like is sour straws a Halloween candy to people like that? The worst is that candy corn though. I ain't no candy corn.
Well, that's a whole nother debate. We just threw that in there. I love that Charlie Warner is getting like his own mini segment in Question of the Week now because his answers have been incredible.
It kind of tracks for his personality, I feel like.
All of those actually really track for all of those personalities. Well, as we celebrate Halloween here on Rise Up Tonight, we also must mark the end of a wonderful Kirktober. On Sunday, 3 of the 4 touchdown passes that Kirk Cousins tossed were explosive 30-plus yard plays. That's the first time he's thrown 3 such touchdown passes in a single game. Tori took a deep dive into the meaning of that this week.
Yeah, so what I wrote this week essentially stemmed from something that Kirk Cousins himself said post-game about how all of these touchdown passes were a result of 1, good protection by the O-line that resulted in 2, Kirk having enough time and the wherewithal to go through his progressions. Not only that, but it allowed some of those deep routes to reach their pinnacle. On that first touchdown pass to Kyle, he had to pull off of Drake and Darnell as they were being doubled. On that final touchdown pass to Bijan, the running back was actually Kirk's 5th read on that play. Those touchdown plays specifically speak to Kirk's growing comfort in the scheme and his mastery of it.
Well, we clearly go hard for Halloween in these parts. Obviously, we're dressing the bump today, but so do the Atlanta Falcons, whose rookies bring the holiday every year to kids who don't get to go door to door for typical trick-or-treating. Time to rise up for Atlanta, brought to you by Truist. On their off day this week, Atlanta's rookies visited the Children's Healthcare of Atlanta Arthur M. Blank Hospital to spread some spooky cheer. It's all fun seeing these guys in funny costumes, but real talk, it meant a lot to both the Falcons, these kids, and their families.
The opportunity that I have to play this game and to, do what I love and have these kids that are, going through a little something and, going through real obstacles in life and real adversity, just for them and their families. It's a hell of an opportunity for me to be here today, just to be in their presence, and I'm looking forward to it. I got this all purple Teletubby costume on, and I'm gonna be the best me I can today.
And the team from Psycho Sisters Boutique in Little 5 Points joins me in the nest to break down how you can style a Halloween costume as good as Casey's Teletubby look there. That's next on Rise Up Tonight.
Welcome back to Rise Up Tonight, Let's head in the nest with Kelly, Tori, and this week's special guest, brought to you by Mercedes-Benz.
We have a super exciting and super festive Halloween segment for you guys here on Rise Up Tonight in the Nest with Psycho Sisters. We've got the owner, we've got one of the stylists. We're going to talk about all these awesome costume ideas that you guys can go actually put together yourself at their boutique in Little 5 Points. But first I want to talk to you about this business. Why did you start this business and why is it so important to you?
I started it because the corporate world is not for me. I graduated from University of Florida in journalism, and I got out, I lasted about 5 hours. And so I thought long and hard about what I wanted to do and the things that I liked and were most important to me, and it's like I wanted a career with no limits where I can just sort of make up the rules as I go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, clearly we've got no limits on these costumes. Cal, I want you to walk us through what we've got here. I know you style customers all the time, I guess regular kind of outfits, cosplay outfits, Halloween costumes. Let's see what we got here.
Gotcha. Well, first up today, like we have a lot of different things where we have costume pieces, vintage pieces, just beautiful outfit pieces that we can put together almost anything where we don't have like a package costume, we put it all together ourselves. So like over here, I've got like a little pirate outfit and everything put together by one of our favorite pirate psychos. And so we've got like 2 skirts layered here where we have one on top of the other, a couple of different layers of lace and red with some brooches put on top of it because these don't come on the skirt, they are definitely put on by us. And then we've got some matching gloves with the skull too, a lovely red corset to cinch, and then a little top that's just the sleeves, collar, and then a hat to accentuate it. So it's pretty much a whole full pirate fit that you could wear to any Run festival, out on Halloween, or even just to maybe a bar to drink with your fellow pirates. They all live a good time.
Hey, I want to dress like a pirate every day of the week. Let's be real.
We have pirates every day of the week, so you can if you want to come down.
And Gasparilla in Tampa.
Yes.
Oh, yes. So many music festivals. Like you can be a pirate for one. You could be a go-go dancer for one. We can put together any era stuff for like 20s rocker or flapper for 1920s. So many amazing things. But right now, right here, we've got our little bit of it's Bridgerton, Princess Peach, Aurora, kind of a whole different thing where we've got our gloves, a lovely corset to accentuate the top of it and get you cinched and perfect, a really cool long skirt that has different pearls and stuff to accentuate it, and then accessorizing. That's the whole big thing we do. You can put together your costume pieces and you can wear it, but accessorizing it is really where we find our magic. We have like different crowns and everything, which are, you know, real metal, really good quality. Earrings that, you know, as low as $4. We have different like vintage necklaces with beautiful jewels, and then like our everyday pearls, which we will constantly have to fill for our 1920s, like I mentioned, for era stuff, or even just if you want to be fancy on a nice Friday night.
Yeah.
And then we do have so many vintage hand-selected pieces by our lovely owner Angie over here, who finds it in, gosh, all over Atlanta, all over the world really, and then pulling in these pieces to make like, you know, a little makeshift clown if you want to, or just an everyday outfit for like maybe a 50s or 60s themed kind of style.
I like it.
Just whatever you're going for. So we can pull together something really simple with vintage pieces, or get out the very heavy duty stuff.
I love this.
Put together a whole princess for you. You could be a vampire, a knight. You could even be a hot dog.
The options are endless. I'm obsessed with this tiara. I'm also obsessed with the pirate
We just got in a bunch of new ones, so please come look at them.
I love that. I love that. How do you source this stuff? What's kind of your process when you're maybe buying and looking at these things? Are you thinking of how can we put a costume together? Or are you just thinking, I really like this piece and I could see someone put a cute outfit together with it?
The second. You know, like I want people to be able to afford to come in. It's a good feeling to come into the store. So if they need a pair of $4 earrings, we have that. A $3 little clown thing. So this shirt's like $14 and it's new. It was $44 new. So I source it from all over the place. I've been doing this for 34 years. Shopping is what I do. And with our stylist help, they can choose something that is really catered to how they're feeling.
And speaking of being original, you've got an original outfit as well.
Yes.
Please describe what you've got on.
So I am a little bit of a Beetlejuice theme since Beetlejuice, or the second Beetlejuice got released, where I have some nice black and white striped pants to go with his little, I think pantomime aesthetic would be the right thing to say. And then a nice corset from our store. We have a lot of cool ones with these laces and everything for the fishnet boning and stuff. Also all steel boning stuff, amazing. And then a fluffy little ruffle collar shirt, which is very 80s themed, but can be used for any outfits, or just if you want to look a little bit fancy and fluffy today.
Yeah.
And don't forget the $8 green sparkly tie.
Oh yeah, the $8 tie. These are zip-on ties. They're so easy to get on and off.
Oh, interesting.
I swear that it's probably my favorite kind of tie because I can't tie a real one. one.
Yes, that's a good option to have.
Putting this together is a lot of what I do. Psycho Sisters lets me influence a lot of my cosplay things, because costume play at things like Dragon Con are what I do outside of work. So I essentially get to be a cosplayer every single day inside the workplace and outside of it. And everything I've pretty much gotten over the last few years to put together outfit pieces that I haven't made are all hand selected from our store. It's always for a really good price too, where I am not stressed out about finances.
And as if you didn't already want to support a local business like this in Atlanta, your proceeds for some of your Halloween costume kind of profits are going to something very special and dear to your heart. Tell us about that.
Oh yes, in 2020, I was a little discouraged with the state of our nation and COVID and all the political unrest and so forth. So I asked God to give me some focus on something else to put all of my energy into. And the next day I found a young girl on Facebook, and she was 15 years old in Uganda. And I was so curious. I immediately, I started to take some of my salary and some of the profits of the store, and we have homed and now educated 106 children in Uganda. Wow. And it's awesome. It's called Rosemary Child Love, and it is such a powerful thing. The kids, I send them clothing boxes of 130 pounds, and they're filled with tutus and Ralph Lauren, and they do African dance lessons, and they're all very happy and off the streets of Uganda. So my Halloween profits, most of my Halloween profits are going to build them a new house, and we have found 12 more kids that we're bringing out of severe poverty, and they are going to be very hopeful now for a bright future.
I love that. I love the image of the tutus in my mind of that, and how much joy that probably brings.
It is so much joy. I've never seen more appreciative, hopeful, happy children ever than the kids that I see in Uganda.
That's awesome. Thank you for doing that work. Thank you guys for bringing all this amazing stuff to Fox 5. The high quality stuff here that you guys see, you have to go check it out at Psycho Sisters. Thank you guys for joining us, and we'll be right back on Rise Up Tonight.
Hey Atlanta, this is Head Crack talking, and you watching Rise Up Tonight, presented by AT&T.
My teammate used to say, walk into your trap, take over your trap.
You like that? I feel like that.
And they were playing that song about you swag and surf, and the whole stadium was moving. And I looked around, I was like, this is pretty sweet.
Find us swaying with him on that
every single time. I wish y'all could see Kelly and I. We're just like, go Kirk.
Well, whether you worship in the house of Kirk O'Chains or elsewhere on Sundays, Kyle Pitts said he had the tight end gods to thank on National Tight Ends Day for a big day and a goal line call that admittedly went in his favor. One of the more interesting things I heard in that post-game locker room was Darnell Mooney telling me it was good to see Pitts have that kind of day to remind him, hey, you still mean something in this offense. You are not just a body here. How does Kyle Pitts kind of find his place more in this offense and help this unit kind of level up again, Tori?
Yeah, so I mean, you used a number 4 overall draft pick on him for a reason. Those 2 touchdown passes really felt like they were the best moments we have seen yet of the mismatch that Kyle Pitts presents. On that first one, he bodies up his defender and pushes right by him. On the second one, he showed some speed, separating with ease from the Bucs secondary. And you know what? The relationship between Kirk and Kyle specifically is an important one. Jesse Bates was the one who said so, saying Kirk pushes Kyle and gets the most out of him. That can't go overlooked as we're talking about KP's recent stat line.
For that, you get the chain, Mr. Kyle Pitts, and he is just one mouth to feed in this playmaking offense. But the Falcons are dishing it all around. They're the only team with 2 500-plus yard receivers in Drake London and Darnell Mooney. Why is that so notable?
Because it shows you that this offense is clicking, but it also actively shows us the Kirk Cousins effect too. This is the type of production we were expecting with Kirk when he was inserted into this offense. You knew what he was as an accurate pocket passer and how it would benefit guys like Drake, Darnell, and Kyle. That's what we're seeing happening in real time. It's not speculative anymore.
We will see what it looks like on Sunday against the Cowboys. We'll see who gets this next week on Rise Up Tonight. Happy Halloween, y'all. We'll see you next time.